KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A round of storms firing off to the north of us. That may mean more spotty showers after a hot weekend. And those storms appear to be heading this way. Here's Adam Caskey with a quick look at what's happening outside right now. Adam.
Yeah, and see if you can see that was looking north from 410 near the airport, and all that activity is north of the airport, north of 410, but pushing southward and really developing southward along an outflow boundary. So from Bulverde down through Stone Oak, now moving into Chavano Park, Hollywood Park as well, stretching eastward toward Green and New Braunfels, getting in on the activity, and then westward it actually goes all the way to Lakey, where we have a few showers. Looking at some of the heaviest rain around town, and where it's really going to affect travel now is along 1604 on the north side of town. From about Northwest Military eastward through 281, up and down 281, far north side, through Bulverde Road, off toward about Evans Road as well. This is some of the heaviest rainfall that's developing and slowly pushing southward. Thunder and lightning with it, but nothing severe. And we're not anticipating severe weather. The odds are slim, though it will be loud at times and we'll have some heavy rainfall. Actual severe storms right now, the threat is pretty low. So this outflow boundary here, that's out ahead of these storms. That's what's helping to develop this activity. It's generating that lift to kick up the storm. So we're going to time that out for you, because you'll notice that first thing. The wind's going to kick up out of the north, and it's going to be a cool breeze. That'll hit Alamo Heights at about 6:02, Kirby area at 6:11. You look at basically the Alamo downtown at 6:15 and downtown San Antonio about 6:15, and then continues to push southward. Shortly after that puff of wind hits, well, some storms will be developing behind that outflow boundary. So as that heads southward, even folks east of town, Luling, and then stretching all the way over toward Lakey through parts of Bandera County, seeing similar activity. Not everybody's going to get the heavy rain, but where it does develop, of course, we are seeing some heavy downpours within it. We're going to analyze this more and talk more about our storm potential for the rest of the night coming right up.
All right, thanks, Adam. We'll see you in just a few minutes. The damage from a house fire Sunday that jumped to a neighbor's roof next door is said to be so extensive. The San Antonio Fire Department says how it started is still unknown.
Dozens of firefighters responded to both fires, but only the first house was a total loss. Jesse DeGriato says that homeowner and his sister were left with practically nothing except the kindness of others.
Kim's cupboard on the west side was the helping hand that Barry McKinley really needed.
You look, because you know what you like better, okay?
I'm not choosing.
After all, McKinley was left with nothing but the clothes on his back. Same with his sister, after their longtime family home was enveloped in thick smoke from a fire that leapt to the roof next door.
It just caught on fire really fast, and we barely got out alive. The flames were already right in our face.
Sadly, he says their 2 dogs and 4 cats were trapped in the rear of the house.
Yeah, we had them a long time, and it hurts.
He says not even the firefighters could save them.
One of them was actually, you could hear him taking the last breath in the back.
Confronted by loss and devastation, McKinley says the kindness of others has been comforting. The American Red Cross had a voucher for a hotel and other necessities. A friend also had offered a place to stay. And now donations like these when they're needed the most.
Let's put some strawberries.
Okay.
Get 2 of those strawberries.
On the west side, Jesse DeGriato, KSAT 12 News.
Mushrooms.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner identifying an apparent homicide victim that was found almost a week ago. The body of 39-year-old James Griego, found in the 14,000 block of Watson Road on the south side last Tuesday. Officers were called after the owner of the property found Griego's body in a brushy area near the driveway. The cause of death listed as a gunshot wound. Day 6 of the Otis McCain capital murder trial. Prosecutors bringing 9 new witnesses before jurors to make the case against McCain in the 2016 murder of San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi. Erica Hernandez in court, where the focus was on the gathering of evidence.
Crime scene investigators, the owner of an Econo Lodge, and a firearms specialist all taking the stand today to present evidence that was collected during the investigation of Detective Benjamin Marconi's murder. Crime scene investigators took the stand to talk more about the evidence collected. This was all dealing with Otis McCain's black car. Photos show paint transfer and damages on the vehicle. Also taking the stand today, the owner of an Econo Lodge off I-35 on the northeast side. He testified about McCain and his wife, Christian Fields, stay at the motel.
When you say them, who is them?
Christian Fields.
And is Christian Fields alone, or is she with someone else?
She's with someone else. I just remember he had a lot of hair. He had like a dreadlocks.
Surveillance video was shown of Fields and what appears to be McCain at the motel. This was all on the same day, just about 7 hours after Detective Marconi was killed. More testimony is expected tomorrow afternoon as we enter day 7 of this trial. You can watch it live on KSAT.com. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
As COVID-19 cases are rising again, health officials continue to push more people to get vaccinated. Nearly 62% of the Bexar County population 12 and older is fully vaccinated, while almost 75% have had at least one shot. Garrett Berger takes us through some of the tactics the city is using to get more shots in arms.
In the parking garage of the San Antonio Zoo today, health officials and the zoo hoped visitors might stop by not a new attraction, but a new pop-up clinic, where a dose of vaccine could get people a pair of tickets to the zoo's Dragon Forest exhibit.
We're hoping that with the combination that Metro Health is doing all over the city with different sorts of incentives, this is one of the ones that will help with that effort.
Unsurprisingly, a health program manager for Metro Health says incentive events seem to do better for turnout. The typical pop-up clinic at a church or some other community building gets about 10 to 25 people, she said. Past incentives have included free Six Flags tickets, Fiesta medals, and recently, 2 events where 10-game packages of Spurs tickets were raffled off. The Spurs ticket events resulted in a combined 288 doses, which she said was a good result.
Most of them were minors, so we are seeing a lot of interest for parents wanting to get their children vaccinated.
Svetkova says they're especially focused on getting the more than 100,000 people who are overdue for their second doses and people in the 12 to 35 age range, like zoo employee Gloria Vasquez, who are still vaccinated at a lower rate than others.
I didn't know where to go, so then I heard that they're doing it here, so I was like, oh, I could do it at work.
Svetkova says overall, each pop-up clinic has its successes and its challenges, but they count every dose as a victory.
Even if it's just 5 people that got vaccinated, we are excited about that because we got 5 additional people vaccinated.
If you were hoping for the freebies, you still have a chance. The zoo event will be happening daily through Thursday. At the zoo, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
At New at 6, confusing the issue of masking in school further. A recommendation from the American Association of Pediatrics is out today that contradicts a CDC guidance. And as the new school year approaches and the number of cases of COVID-19 continue to rise, there's a likelihood of more to come. Ursula Perry tries to sort it all out with a local pediatric specialist.
I'm not at all surprised.
This UT Health San Antonio pediatric specialist says the move to remove felt a bit early to healthcare workers on the front lines, and that Monday's American Association of Pediatrics' new recommendation to put masks back on kids and workers in classrooms makes sense.
I think that that's the right decision to make. Children under 12 are, they can't be protected through vaccination.
Currently, she says the overwhelming majority of cases in hospitals, somewhere around 90%, are the unvaccinated, including children. In fact, cases are surging when it comes to kids. And while the current vaccines are 95% effective against COVID-19, that is not the case with the Delta variant.
And with the new Delta variant, the information that we have coming out of Israel and places that had surges of this Delta variant before we did are showing that the vaccine is more along the lines of 65% effective.
The American Academy of Pediatrics says it's in favor of in-person learning this fall and that wearing masks in classrooms does reduce the transmission rate of viruses, but that the honor system of who's vaccinated and who's not just isn't reliable. Next up, will the CDC now change its guidelines, lifting the mask mandate in the classroom? No doubt more on that to come. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Meantime, it is back to the classroom today for students at Castle Hills Elementary in Northeast ISD. All students are back to in-person learning. Some safety protocols in place include sanitizing stations throughout classrooms, social distancing when possible. But this year, masks are optional. though the American Academy of Pediatrics does recommend everyone over the age of 2 continue to wear a mask in school settings, regardless of vaccination status. The district says their hands are tied. Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order saying that schools cannot mandate masks, so mask usage will not be required for all students and staff.
Unfortunately, our hands are tied to what our governor mandates when it comes to the masks, so there's nothing that we can do about that recommendation.
Aubrey Chancellor with NEISD adds if parents want their children to wear a mask, teachers will not be responsible for making sure the student does wear that mask. She says it will be difficult for teachers to remember which child should or should not be wearing one.
Is San Antonio police investigating an overnight shooting that sent 2 men to the hospital? The victims, police say, were working on their cars outside a home when someone drove by and opened fire. Katrina Weber tells us why San Antonio police say finding the shooter may not be easy.
It took just a few seconds for some early morning car work to turn into a case for San Antonio police. They found 2 men with gunshot wounds, one shot in the back and one in the leg in the 200 block of Soralvo. The men say they were working on their cars after 2 this morning when someone drove up and shot them. Police say bullets also hit the cars and a neighbor's front door. No one in the neighbor's house was hurt. The 2 wounded men, who were 21 and 31 years old, had to be taken to a hospital. Police say both should be okay, although they weren't saying a lot about what happened. Police at this point don't know a whole lot about the shooter. They say the victims were not being cooperative. The only thing they've found out so far is that the person was possibly in a blue sedan. Reporting from the West Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look at a TransGuide camera here. Adam Caskey talking about that rain moving in. Here is a picture of it. 410 in San Pedro. You can see just how slow it has traffic moving at this point, how difficult it is to see for drivers right now.
You can also see how these storms are moving across the city with the TransGuide cameras. Actually just had a friend send me video from his backyard on 281 between kind of Bitters and Blanco, and it just was inundated, coming down in sheets. Adam Caskey.
Yeah, it is. It's coming down very hard. I mean, we're looking at rain rates on the order of 5 to 7 inches per hour. Of course, it's not going to be raining for an hour, right? But you could easily get 2 inches out of this. Here's a look from our south side camera looking northward. Check out that dark sky. It looks very ominous, even a shelf cloud out there in spots. But right now, nothing severe, and the odds of severe weather is low. Now, I want to point something out here. Today, we actually topped out at 94 degrees for the high temperature, but right now we're down into the mid 70s. We're going to talk more about what's happening out there, look at the radar, and more future storm chances coming up.
If you missed that view from CityCam earlier, our live cam, it is dark to the north of San Antonio. Some intense rain moving into our area.
Yeah, Adam, we've been seeing this huge line of showers that are just, they're going almost across the viewing area.
They are. They're stretching basically from Luling over toward Lakey in the Hill Country, and it's coming down hard, coming down in sheets. It's heavy rainfall. This is a picture out of Deerfield very recently of that heavy rainfall. Take a look at the radar screen, and you see the heaviest of the rain right now moving through the far north side of San Antonio, moving into Windcrest right now. Selma, you're on the leading edge. Schertz, you're about to get hit by it. And then, of course, up next, Kirby, Alamos Park. We're looking at Alamo Heights as well, and moving into Castle Hills and Leon Valley. That's the heaviest of the rain. I'm going to zoom in for you, and you see there's a lot of lightning associated with this. Those white lines indicate the actual cloud to ground lightning strikes. But right now there's nothing severe, so it's loud, some heavy rainfall. Not a good time to be on the roads. If you can, wait a bit, let this pass, give it about 30 minutes, and you should be able to get outside again. But there's that leading edge moving into Converse, into Windcrest as well. You know Roosevelt High School near Windcrest there? It's about to get hit. You head over toward MacArthur High School, just moving in. The airport, obviously getting some heavy rainfall right now. And now moving toward Lee High School, Castle Hills, then south within 410. That's where that leading edge is. So Alamo Heights, Alamos Park, Monte Vista, Terrell Hills. You don't have it yet, but it's coming momentarily. And then even farther to the west in the I-10 corridor, you get over toward the medical center, and one little isolated downpour has popped up, but the bulk of the activity is stretching from Windcrest to Castle Hills up into Garden Ridge. And even Helotes has a downpour nearby. You look elsewhere, it's spottier off to the east along I-10 and even in Bandera County. It's a lot more hit or miss, whereas you look at San Antonio and it's mostly hit here, especially on the north side and now moving into the central part of town. So let's take a look at the actual rainfall rates and the rainfall totals. You could quickly get a good 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall from this because of these very high rainfall rates. Let's start in Bracken, okay? Not far from the Bat Cave there. You look at the actual rates of the rainfall, that little purple to white area. That indicates about 7.5 inches per hour. So if it rained for an hour at that rate, it'd be 7.5 inches. Now, it's not going to rain for an hour at that rate, but this tells us that localized areas, of course, will have ponding of water on the roadways. Maybe some of those low water crossings will have some water, so exercise caution. And even Hollywood Park, Deerfield area, all the way through Churchill High School, pretty much the same rainfall rate. So what does that mean so far in terms of the actual rainfall that has happened? And you're looking at about 1.5 inches, Chaffano Park. You get up into Stone Oak, you're looking at about 1.5 inches to even 2 inches where you see the yellow there. That yellow indicates about 2 to even over 2 inches of rainfall. So just dotting the landscape here, quick 1 to 2 inches of rain likely with this batch that's moving southward. We can also time it out because what it's doing, it's really just developing right along this outflow boundary here. You see that boundary? That's that puff of wind, cool breeze out ahead of these thunderstorms. And that's helping to basically develop these storms as this all progresses southward. So instead of just painting the leading edge of this rain, I think it's just as important here to paint the leading edge of this outflow boundary because that's what's helping to kickstart these thunderstorms. And as it moves into town, into your neck of the woods, moments later, poof, the storms develop. So timing that out, you're looking at China Grove at about 6:23, Palo Alto College on the south side about 6:30, East Central High School at about 6:33, Mitchell Lake at 6:40, and then continuing to push southward. All of this is part of a weak cool front that's actually headed our way, and that cool front's going to linger around for a couple of days. There's that cool front dropping southward. Very weak. It's just the wind shift line more than anything, but enough to lift our atmosphere and get these storms going. Another round of good maintenance rain here, even falling over the aquifer. Upper level disturbance going to linger around for a few more days, and that's going to keep at least some rain chances in the forecast, though probably nothing as widespread as what we have today. Here's our future cast. Through the evening, we'll still have these hit or miss thunderstorms. They'll be developing in one place, dissipating in another place. This is midnight. We'll continue to have them popping up here, dying over there. That happens through the night. And first thing tomorrow morning, just the off chance. But we have to look at this camera. Already so far at the airport, actually probably more than 1/10 of an inch. We need that to update. But here's what's interesting. We topped out at 94 degrees. It's raining here near the airport. That's 410. Look at that. Now we're down to 75. At the airport. Bernie 73, Canyon Lake 78, Stinson meanwhile 95. All of you downtown and southward thinking, cool air, what are you talking about? Just wait for that puff of wind to hit you momentarily and your temperatures will be plummeting as well. Rock Springs even at 77. So the scattered activity off and on through this evening, temperatures falling through the 70s. Tomorrow, about a 20 to 30% chance throughout the day. 72 in the morning, 91 for the high, otherwise partly cloudy. And I think our best chance of rain or more numerous showers and storms again will be coming on Thursday. At that point, a high of 87 and then drying out Friday for the weekend.
Things changing quickly this evening. Thanks, Adam.
All right, I like to think of everything in terms of Spurs. So does this mean Mike Budenholzer is going to win another championship, Greg?
And it could. Is this a closeout game for Milwaukee or a second chance for the Phoenix Suns going ahead to Game 6 tomorrow? When we come back, we'll hear from both sides. And Kellen Mond's legacy at Texas A&M helps the Aggies move forward. Coming up. After stealing Game 5 on the road in Phoenix on Saturday night, the Milwaukee Bucks can claim their second NBA championship in franchise history with a winning Game 6 tomorrow night in Milwaukee. That's where they are 5-point favorites following their 123-119 victory in Phoenix over the weekend. What does it mean to the Bucks to have the opportunity to win their first title since 1974 in front of the hometown fans?
It means a lot, man, but like I can't get too carried away. You know, I got to stay in the present. Can't worry about the outcome. But like, you know, obviously we know what the deal is. Is one game away from, you know, being an NBA champ. You know, being in the history of this game. You know, being always there. You know, nobody can take that away from you. And you know, doing it in front of our families and our fans, it's big.
You know, for the Phoenix Suns, they now have lost 3 games in a row for the first time since January, now facing elimination for the first time in the playoffs. So how do they approach Game 6 tomorrow?
Just embrace it. Yeah. You know, we knew this wasn't going to be easy. We didn't expect it to be. And, I mean, it's hard. You know, Coach said it all year long. You know, everything we want is on the other side of hard, and it don't get no harder than this. You know, so we got to regroup, learn from this game, but it's over. You know, we got to get ready for Game 6.
All right, Game 6 will be tomorrow, live here on KSAT 12. If a Game 7 is necessary, Thursday. Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher, one of the keynote speakers at the Texas High School Coaches Association convention here in the Alamo City that has drawn over 15,000 to San Antonio. Fisher's coming off his best season as a head coach of the Aggies after finishing 9-1, 4th in the country. And he did that with San Antonio's own Kellen Mond at quarterback, winning 8 in a row. Now that Mond has been drafted by
Kellen, I mean, he's had a tremendous career, and yes, we're definitely going to miss him. I mean, but hopefully the legacy he left and the example he left for the guys behind him of how to work, how to get prepared, and how to be a great player will carry on, which I think they will. And that's one of Kellen's great things he did was not only himself playing great and became a great player for us, but I think his legacy of teaching guys how to play behind him and how to prepare, and he was very good with those younger guys.
All right, the Fighting Texas Aggies kick off their 2021 season at home against Kent State on Saturday, September the 4th at 7 p.m. All right, after Fisher took the stage at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, new Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian followed up with his address. This will be his first year in Longhorn land after helping lead Alabama to their latest national championship as their offensive coordinator. His job is to get the Longhorns back to national prominence, and now he gets to do it in front of a full house.
I'm a fan of college football first, and part of the reason I love it is the emotion, the pageantry of college football and all that it brings in the stadiums and different things. And so obviously to have, 100,000 people back in DKR for us is a helpful hand. We're going to need it, kicking things off a new way. So just a normal season is exciting. To be able to do this, to be able to have Big 12 media days, things of that nature is, I think, is all headed, pushing us in the right direction.
The Longhorns kick off the Steve Sarkisian era on Saturday, September the 4th against Louisiana at 3:30 p.m. in Austin in the afternoon. That'll be a little warm start, but It'll be good to have everybody back if this holds out the way it is now. We'll have to see if that changes in the next month.
Yeah, you hopeful stadiums happen. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Greg.
Our KSAT Q&A is next. He is one of the Democratic lawmakers in Texas who left the state as part of a strategy in the special legislative session. He is now in quarantine in the nation's capital. We are joined in today's KSAT Q&A by State Representative Trey Martinez Fisher. Thanks so much for being here. We have a lot to talk about with what's going on with the Democratic delegation right now, but I want to start with your situation. You are in quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19. Tell us how you're doing right now. How are things going?
Thank you, Myra. I'm feeling fine. I have a low-grade fever. I was, pretty surprised to know that I tested positive. I was the guy wearing the mask on the last day of the legislative session. I woke up Sunday, had my normal routine, drank my coffee. I exercised, did some yoga, and then I have a standing meeting with my staff, and we always rapid test before the meeting. And I was really shocked to learn that I was positive. I waited 15 minutes, took another test, and lo and behold, positive again. So I'm isolated and quarantining, and I'll shift my business virtual until I can get out of this.
But you are vaccinated. I want to point that out as well.
Well, fully vaccinated, and I guess really goes to show you how strong that Delta variant is. And for folks that are still on the fence, haven't made that decision to get vaccinated, it is real. I've talked to people who had COVID without the vaccine. They were miserable. I didn't want to get COVID. I didn't plan to get COVID, but now that I have it, this is the way I want to have it, with a low-grade fever and just, minimal symptoms.
Yeah, glad you're doing well. Let's shift to the voting. You left the state of Texas and headed to D.C. Because of the voting changes that are potentially going to be put in place, the Senate has already passed their version of it. The House version, seems to be shifting here and there. Are you getting any indication, or do you have any hope that you're going to change any minds when it comes to the Republicans in the state legislature?
Well, Steve, that was the whole point why we left. We were told that they would work with us. We tried to find some common ground. The provisions they had taken out dealing with souls of the polls and the election fraud language, that they didn't take that out because they wanted to. They took it out because they had to. Too much public pressure, too much scrutiny from the press. There's some really bad language in there. That current proposal will give a partisan poll watcher more power at an election box than the election judge. If you can just think about that for a minute, that you could have a Proud Boy, if you will, very partisan, very aggressive, and the minute the election judge tries to bring in order, that election judge, him or herself, could face a criminal penalty.
This move by Democrats, it's certainly come under fire. There's been a lot of criticism from some people who have said, well, this is a dereliction of duty, deciding to leave the state during a special session. What's your response to people who see this move in that way, and how do you hope this will actually make progress?
Myra, that's a great question. Their issue is not with me. Their issue is with the Texas state constitution. The language of the quorum was built into our Constitution by our framers for a reason. They expect to have, a 2/3 present and working, and any short of that, there will not be any business. And it's ironic that there is criticism because up here in Washington, you have Senator Lindsey Graham talking about breaking quorum to prevent the infrastructure package of the $3 trillion. So listen, it's a tool in the tool bucket. Both sides use it when they need to. And for voting rights, it was necessary.
You brought up the poll watcher deal. The current language that I've seen basically gives, you get warned once and then the judge can take action to have somebody removed, no matter what political persuasion they are. We talked to Representative Steve Allison last week. He thinks that there's room for negotiations and some room for compromise. Are you getting any indication? Are you talking at all with the Republicans right now on what that compromise may look like?
I have not talked to anybody. Steve Allison's a fine fellow, a really nice guy. Obviously not in the control of that voting rights discussion. That'll lie with Chairman Ashby and members of that select committee. And frankly, look, the proof is in the pudding. If they have ideas on how they would make that improvement, they can easily submit that into drafting. They can send us the language and we can talk about it. And that doesn't change whether we're in Austin or in Washington, D.C. But really, I think it's they have to show a little bit of good faith. They didn't show any at the committee process. The committee went 24 hours straight. They rushed this out in a vote. They didn't take a single amendment. They refused to offer Democrats an opportunity to provide language. That's not how the legislative process works. That's how people get steamrolled. That's not democracy. And that's why we stood up.
I think that this, for so many people who aren't familiar with all the tools in the toolbox, as you called them, this is such an interesting strategy to watch play out. We saw Republicans here in Texas last week vote to have law enforcement try to come bring Democrats like yourself back here to the Capitol in Texas. Any idea how long you all are expecting this to last? How long is this going to be the play?
Our group is committed to killing the first called suppression session that we are in, and that ends on August 7th. We will remain here in Washington, D.C. We recognize that the eyes of the nation are on us. We have bumped voting rights up to the top of the domestic policy agenda. We have a lot of encouragement from folks across several different states. Make no mistake, this is happening in Arizona, in Georgia, and Florida. Very recently, there was some suppression legislation passed in Michigan. We need to rise up and rally the nation in hopes that the U.S. Senate will hear us. They are deadlocked at 50-50, and already we are beginning to learn that there may be multiple pathways to put a voting reform package, either in its own version or perhaps in the infrastructure bill that will pass by reconciliation.
Texas Tribune wrote something similar to what Myra was asking you about today, that basically you need the attention of not just Texans, but the nation on what you guys are trying to do there, trying to get Congress to take action because you're fearful of what may happen in the state legislatures, not just Texas, but the other ones that you mentioned. Do you agree with that if the attention wanes, it may be time to come back to the state?
You know, Steve, the one thing I really need is to be home with my wife and children, be back at my job, be in my community. But the fact remains that Republicans have refused to negotiate. We do not need the attention. The attention has come to us. This was a pretty bold and defiant act of minority voices standing up and pushing back in an effort to save our democracy. And so, make no mistake, everywhere we go, every meeting, if you can just imagine in a span of 27 hours, this group had several visits with multiple United States senators, a private meeting with Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, an unscheduled 90-minute meeting with the Vice President of the United States. That doesn't happen in a normal day in Washington, D.C. People could spend weeks up here and not have that kind of access. I mean, we're here on a mission. And make no mistake, there is not a lot of advocating in the U.S. Senate for fair voting rights in the state of Texas. Our senators don't agree with our position. And it's incumbent on us to convince the Senator Mansions and the Senator Cinemas of the world that the hurdles and the tripwire are very significant in Texas. And in many instances, voting is become almost, a criminal act if you don't do it by the book.
All right, before we let you go, I think they call it in the legislature a point of personal privilege. I want to give you right now. You have friends and family and one very special family member that I know you wanted to get a message across to here in San Antonio. So I want to let you do that.
Thank you, Steve. Our baby, Camila Marie, is going to have a big birthday on the 22nd. And Dad really wanted to be with her. Dad is not going to be with her. And it's one of the biggest cracks in my heart. But Dad's out here working, doing everything I can to do what's best for our country and our democracy. So Cameron, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. When I come home in August, we're going to celebrate it one more time. Daddy loves you.
We wish her a happy early birthday. We wish you well, too, in your own quarantine. Hope you continue to feel well. Representative Trey Martinez Fisher, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. The news around America now, a Florida man going to prison for 8 months for his role in the Capitol insurrection. It is the first sentence handed down to a Capitol rioter charged with a felony. Last month, 38-year-old Paul Allard Hodgkins pleaded guilty to obstructing an official proceeding. He admitted to wearing protective goggles and gloves while carrying a Trump flag into the Senate chamber on January 6th. The sentence is less than the 18 months the Justice Department asked for.
Back here at home, let's take a look outside with live cam. It is a dark, soggy picture out there. Adam, we've been talking about this rain moving through our area. So how far has it gotten at this point?
Well, now it's especially affecting the east side of San Antonio and the eastern portion of Bexar County. Nonetheless, we've got some other areas getting hit as well. And so those rain chances pretty high here through the evening hours. Right now we're at 74 degrees. We saw the temperature drop at the airport. We'll have a full assessment and talk about this rain and even the potential for more coming right up.
Some heavy rain hitting our area this afternoon. Adam Caskey, of course, tracking it all as this really makes a big push through our area.
It does, especially locations east of 281 right now. It's starting to see most of the development here on the eastern side of Bexar County and not as much on the west side of town. You can see some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, dissipating for the most part as they approach I-10 east of San Antonio, Lavaca County, Gonzales County. You'll probably have a few brief little showers, but really the heaviest of the rain is here in San Antonio and Bexar County. So we're going to take a look at that and notice this is primarily pushing to the southeast, moving toward Livernia. And a lot of it is developing along this outflow boundary that's out ahead of it. That puff of cool wind from these thunderstorms helping to kick up this more development, but the real heavy rainfall here, I-10 especially east of San Antonio, from downtown all the way into Guadalupe County and now even approaching and just about to clip Seguin, some of that heavy rainfall. Most of the lightning from Selma to Schertz down toward I-10 right now and even stretching into Atkins, some new development from that heavy rain. I mean, rainfall rates are on the order of 7.5 inches per hour. Of course, it's not going to rain for a full hour, but it's very heavy rainfall, and expect ponding of water on the roadways and even some issues on the roadways, of course, because of this rain. You look where we had some of the heavy rain and now it's lighter activity moving through Bergheim toward Bulverde, even approaching Stone Oak. There's still some spotty activity on the backside of that main thunderstorm that developed. And this is going to be the case the rest of this evening. We'll have a storm pop up here while one dissipates and dies over there. And we'll just continue to see a little bit of development and dissipation. The storm's kind of coming and going as we go through the evening and night. Up in Kerr County, still some heavy rain and scattered throughout Bandera County, pushing southward into Uvalde and Medina counties. You go farther to the west and there really isn't as much activity at all. But it's that dry line right here, or not the dry line, the outflow boundary that's out ahead of it, helping to develop some of those storms. So look at the rain that's actually fallen. Now, these are radar estimates over the past 12 hours. Okay, and you look at where the vast majority of the heavy rain has been. Kerr County, Kendall County, parts of Comal County, especially I-35 to I-10 right now. That's where we've seen a lot of the heavy rainfall. And where you see the yellow on the screen, that indicates about 2 inches estimated by the Doppler radar. So that's close to New Braunfels and especially toward Garden Ridge, Bracken, and then even into the Stone Oak area, Hollywood Park as well. I mean, we can get right down here, Blanco Road and Wilderness Trail, just north of there. Look at this. Here we go. Boom. About 2.2 inches of rain estimated in that part of Stone Oak. So just getting specific, of course, rainfall always varies significantly across distances. But what's nice about this is a lot of this is over the aquifer recharge zone, and in turn, that's helping to boost the aquifer a bit. So let's look at the actual radar right now and what's out there. And this is all moving to the southeast right now. It's starting to organize on the east side, pushing southeastward. And we'll time it out for some communities, see what time you can expect it. This is kind of a broken line right there. It's not very well defined, but it's moving at about 17 miles per hour, 18 miles per hour. So that would put it toward Floresville at about 7:26, Lavernia obviously before that at 7 o'clock. So those are some updated numbers there. All right, that's what we have outside at the moment. Let's take a look at the big picture here. And the big picture shows that cool front dropping in with some upper level energy as well. This upper disturbance here, that's going to be drifting overhead for several more days, and that's going to keep some rain chances in the picture. But I think the best chance and the most numerous showers and storms would be coming on Thursday, and at that point, scattered in nature across South Texas again. There's that ominous look, still some light rain on the backside of the leading edge of the heavy stuff. 74 now at the airport. Dew point is 72. You look at these numbers where the outflow has moved and we've seen some thunderstorms, 70s. Out ahead of it, where you haven't gotten hit yet, Pleasanton, Devine, 93 degrees, even Cotulla at 97. But that outflow is pushing southward, and I think most of us will be feeling that cooler breeze as we go through the evening. So 72 in the morning tomorrow, 91 in the afternoon, 30% chance. Pretty much the same on Wednesday than Thursday. More scattered activity popping up and into the weekend. Just sunny, dry, and actually close to average for a change in the mid-90s.
All right, thanks, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
Let's roll, everyone. It is Monday, July 19th.
City of San Antonio is still trying to get people vaccinated. Nearly 3/4 of the county, 12 and over, have received at least one vaccine. But Metro Health says more than 100,000 people are overdue for their second shot. And people up to 35 have lower vaccination rates. Today's effort to get people vaccinated at the San Antonio Zoo's parking garage, where people scored 2 free tickets to the zoo's Dragon Forest exhibit.
The Delta variant tightening its grip on the U.S., with nearly every state seeing a surge in cases.
COVID is still here right now, and we're still fighting it.
Some local officials now doubling down once again. The mayor of Orange County, Florida, asking people to mask up in crowded places, regardless of vaccination status.
We have some new details in a fatal shooting over the weekend. A man shot and killed at an apartment complex in the medical center has now been identified. He is 26-year-old Malcolm Ray Everett II. 43-year-old Tavris Anderson has been charged in Everett's murder. Police say that the two men had been drinking, then they got into an argument.
Days ahead of a crucial test vote, President Biden made another push for a bipartisan $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan that he supports.
We should be united in one thing:
passage of the bipartisan infrastructure framework, which we shook hands on.
Negotiators of the bipartisan infrastructure deal are trying to iron out details, including how they'll fund the almost $600 billion in new spending.
You see that line there approaching Del Rio, approaching Highway 90. That's the outflow boundary. Del Rio, Brackettville, Uvalde, Sabinal, get ready for that cool breeze to move in. But not a whole lot of rain west of town. Get locally, and that's where we've had the bulk of the moisture and the heavy rain now pushing to the southeast. I-35, especially I-10 at the moment, right along the Bexar County, Guadalupe County line, moving into Lavernia, Stockdale to come. You get into Gonzales County, some light rain on the north side, but that's about it. Lavaca County will probably get clipped by some of that light rain. And I think we'll have some of these showers and storms coming and going, developing and dissipating periodically through the rest of the evening and even through the night tonight. As you look at the forecast, some rain chances, but not really all that numerous until maybe Thursday with high temperatures near 90.
All right, thanks, Adam.
See you at 10.